It's the first time that these two sides will meet in a bilateral T20 series. It just shows you where the women's game is going. And given the fact that the T20 World Cup is taking place next year, February, in South Africa, means a lot of teams will start to focus in the shortest format. Time to preview this T20 International Series, India taking on Australia here on Cricbuzz. The last time these two sides met was actually the Commonwealth Games gold medal match. And whilst Australia was able to overcome India, the side is slightly different, as well as India. For Australia, they are missing their two leaders, Meg Lanning, who is still taking a break from cricket, and Rachel Haynes, who has retired from all formats, which means there's a new leadership team within the Australian side. Lisa Sthalekar takes over as skipper, and Tahlia McGrath, the captain of the winning Adelaide Strikers, comes in as vice captain. There are also two new faces. Kim Garth from Ireland, who's already played international cricket but left Ireland to become a professional domestic player, has toiled away in domestic cricket with women's 50-over cricket and the WBBL, and through performances for the Melbourne Stars, finds an opportunity to get into this strong Australian side. As for the other fresh face, it's Phoebe Litchfield, 19-year-old from Orange, New South Wales, played a lot of hockey, a left-handed bat who plays for Sydney Thunder, and she will certainly want to impress the selectors. For India, their side is slightly different as well. Devika Vedia comes back into the Indian side given the fact that she has scored some runs and can also bowl leg spin. And one player who I'm excited to see is the left arm quick Anjali from the India Railways. She has an ability to swing the ball back into the right-hander, and I think she'll certainly trouble some of the Australian top order. So where do these sides meet? Well, they all head to Mumbai, where they'll base themselves, and they'll play two games at the D.Y. Patel ground, and then one of my favourite grounds, the last three T20 internationals will be played at Bradland Stadium, a ground where I actually retired from international cricket. One thing that I can tell you about both grounds, having not played D.Y. Patel, but I know certainly from scores that I've seen, it is a flat, hard square. So there are certainly a lot of runs in the pitch, and then what also assists with that is a fast, lightning fast outfield. So the bowlers will have to bowl well. They'll have to be able to park their egos to be able to be successful in this series. The playing 11 for both of these sides, I expect them to experiment a little bit. We're still a number of months away from the T20 World Cup, and with a couple of fresh faces and some opportunities in the playing 11, no doubt they'll chop and change to see what their best 11 is moving forward. For the Australian team, it's pretty stock standard at the top. Elisa Healy, Beth Mooney. That number 3 position that Meg Lanning was holding, I actually think we'll see Elise Perry fight her way back into the T20 side. Has been missing since the Ashes series only a couple of summers ago. Then you go to Tahlia McGrath, who's been outstanding for them. Ash Gardner, the player of the series of WBBL. Grace Harris, even though she's carrying a bit of a knee injury, they may want to repay the faith given what she was able to do in that round clash against India in the Commonwealth Games. That number 7 position, there's actually a number of players, all-rounders, that will be going for that opportunity. Annabelle Sutherland, who has toured with the Australian side but hasn't broken into the T20 team regularly. Nicola Carey, Kim Garth and Heather Graham. I actually think Annabelle Sutherland might get the nod ahead, given that she scored 300 runs and took over 20 wickets in this season's WBBL. Alana King, who has just taken to playing international cricket like duck to water. Jess Jonathan, Megan Shute and Darcy Brown. That rounds out the 11. But like I said, I wouldn't be surprised to see Kim Garth being given a go. Nicola Carey, who potentially might be on her last tour if she doesn't perform well. And hopefully the young Phoebe Litchfield might get an opportunity in that number 3 spot. For India, similar to the Australian side, their top order is pretty stock standard. Shafali Verma, Smriti Mandana, Jemima Rodrigues, who is no doubt dying to come back and play against the high quality Australian side. And given that she has an understanding of them, given her experience in WBBL, I think it will hold her in good stead. Harmanpreet Kaur, who's just risen to another level ever since she's taken over as skipper in all formats. Then it's that number 5 position. Who do you go to? Based on performances in the Challenger before the side was selected, Yastika Bhatia probably gets the nod ahead. 80 not out and 99 not out means that she probably deserves that opportunity. Another left-hander in that top order will certainly help. Then your other reliable Dipti Sharma, who'll bowl her off spin, probably in the power play, and then provide some late order runs. Richa Ghosh, which I think, having her back in the side, hopefully they give her a good run at it now within the playing 11. Now in the past, they've gone for Radha Yadav, and then you've also had Rajaswari Gaikwad. I think this is where they could bring in Devika Vedia, simply because obviously leg spin, but also can provide some more runs down the order. Anjali, obviously the left arm quick, I think she, from all reports, she's not too bad with the bat in hand. Then you've got Rajaswari Gaikwad and Ranul Thakur, who has been outstanding for Team India ever since she's come into the side. Again, that's my playing 11 for the first game. No doubt it will change throughout the series. The X Factor for both of the sides, I'm going to pick one from each. And I think there'll be a number of players that step up, but for me, Elisa Healy. Now, she's one player that we've seen time and time again when there's a bit of pressure, when there's a little bit of speculation, when she feels that she's got to lift, she does so. We've seen it in ICC World Cup events. And given that she's got the captaincy, extra responsibility, she'll want to lead this side well, and she has that opportunity to get them off to a great start. So look out for her. And as for India, I think Jemima Rodrigues will have a wonderful tournament. I think she's worked really hard to get back into this side. Harmanpreet Kaur, like I said, has gone to another level. But Smriti Mandana, she's due. She's certainly due to score some runs. So I expect the elegant left-hander to trouble the Australian bowlers. When you think of the build-up for both of these sides, really they've had probably their best preparation in a long time. For the Australian team, they've come off a WBBL where majority of players have played 16 games of cricket, highly competitive, broadcast, crowds, and hopefully the crowds come in Mumbai as well to see these two sides. As for India, they had the T20 Challenger Trophy. And what was really good about that tournament was that the best players all came in and played. So selectors were able to really look at performances and pick the best 15 out of that. For the first game, I'm going to probably put Australia ahead slightly, simply because I feel that from a bowling perspective, they've still got their guns in there. A Darcy Brown, a Megan Shute, an Alana King, a Jess Jonathan, and then you can add a Annabelle Sutherland or a Kim Garth or someone like that. And I think that they will be all covered. Whereas India, obviously they're missing the services of Pooja Vastrika, and fingers crossed that she goes well with her surgery. But Australia will come out on top in the first game. But one thing is for sure, it is going to be a tight series because both of these sides, they love to lift for the occasion. And the great thing is, you and I get to cover all of these games off here on Cricbuzz. So I look forward to you joining me.